Hey, alright everybody, how's it going? Now, I watched a video a little bit earlier on and I got it here in front of me on the tablet and it was from Auto Trader and the title was Why They're Forcing Electric Cars on Us. And it was done by Rory, what's his face? Used to be on Top Gear. You know, Rory. You know what I'm talking about. But anyway, so he did a video sitting down and he had a bowl of Coco Pops in front of him and he had a bowl of granola in front of him. So a bowl of Coco Pops and a bowl of granola. You might have seen it already. Now, if you can hear funny noises, is my dog outside the door making funny noises. I don't know why she's making funny noises for, because if I open the door, she comes in here, then she turns round and wants to go back out the door. So I don't know what to do when I'm filming, because she doesn't like being in here when I'm filming, but she doesn't like being out there either. And I'm not the only person in the house. She's not here on her own. So if you did hear funny noises, it was the dog. Right, okay. What was I saying? Rory, what's his face? Why can't I remember his second name? It's not Rory Underwood, is it? That's not his name. That's another Rory, is it? Rory, you know, I'll put it there. So he had a bowl of Coco Pops and he had a bowl of granola. And he had a munch of the Coco Pops. And the Coco Pops represented fun petrol cars. And the granola represented electric cars. So was he trying to say electric cars are boring and Coco Pops is the... Right, now I'll say something. Might be my age, but I prefer a bowl of granola to the Coco Pops. I wouldn't fancy a bowl of Coco Pops anymore. I wouldn't like the sugar rush and everything. Not at my age. Ooh, no. So anyway, what was he saying basically? He was on about... First of all, he said something along the lines of... Well, first of all, forced is a strong word. Forced is a strong word, and I'd say nobody's really forced into buying a brand new car. It's like saying you've been forced into buying a washing machine, isn't it? Unless you really need a washing machine. But then you could wash your clothes by hand, I suppose, so you wouldn't be forced, would you? Or you could swap your car for a push bike, or go on the bus or the train, or buy a second-hand car, or whatever, or keep your car going for longer by repairing it. So forced is a strong word. I'd say forced is a strong word. Pushed into electrification. Force is a little bit of a strong word, and maybe force could be used in 2035, but not quite yet. So, and there'll be people arguing in the comment section now who can't stand EVs, saying, yeah, we are being forced, even though they'll still be driving a 20-year-old Peugeot diesel that's got 600,000 miles on it, does 900 miles to the tank, and they can tow a caravan to Land's End, to John O'Groats. And they'll still be driving that in 2035, even though they say they're being forced. And those people will be using, buying second-hand cars probably in 2035. Anyway, and there'll be somebody now who says, no, I got it. There's always somebody who pops in my comment section and tells me off. They give me, they tell me off and say, ooh, you shouldn't be saying things like that, and you shouldn't be laughing when you talk about electric cars, because I don't think it's funny. I don't think it's funny at all. Well, I think it's funny, okay? Right, because, you've got to keep things light-hearted. There's no point being all doom and gloom about everything in the world, is there? You might as well, keep a stiff upper lip, as they say, and smile. So, one of the first things he said, I know, look, I'm waffling all the time, and my videos don't make much sense, right? But I'll try and get to the point. So, one of the things he said, first of all, and he did say partly to blame, he didn't say fully to blame, he said the ZEV mandate is partly to blame for the Luton, Stellantis and Luton closing up shop, and they're going to make all electric vehicles in the other plant in Bury Port. I might get that wrong there. I can't remember everything. So they're going to make all electric vehicles in the UK there, and he was trying to blame the ZEV mandate. And at the time when they said it, when Stellantis said it, they were just using that ZEV mandate as a scapegoat. they wanted to get it in. But the main reason, well, somebody said it in the comment section. So let's go to the comment section, and this person says it the way I thought it was. Let's have a look. This person says, "Sorry, Rory. Your statement about Luton is completely wrong. The vast majority, 85% of the vans built in Luton were sold in the EU as a result of a certain decision made in 2016. All of these vans were being sold with tariffs on them because they were no longer in the EU. This made the factory no longer financially viable, as it was far cheaper to build these vans in France. I realise that you don't want to mention the B word, Brexit, but the result of that is the reason, not the ZEV mandate." And I'll go along with that. I think Brexit was one of the big reasons why and also, the sales and stuff and whatnot. And if they can make something cheaper somewhere else, then they'll make it cheaper somewhere else. I think they said they're going to make the petrol ones in Turkey or something like that. Somebody said further down. So anyway, make of that what you will. Then the second thing he said was something about Ferrari, and they sell less than 2,500 petrol Ferraris a year in the UK. So because it's under a certain amount of vehicles, they're not included in the ZEV mandate, which is a bit bizarre. But I can agree with that in a way, because a Ferrari probably it gives out a lot of emissions and stuff when it's used, but people who buy Ferraris usually stick them in a air-conditioned garage and drive them maybe once a week or maybe once a month or even less. And they just polish them once a week. Now, I know Dave down the road has got another mate we sees in the pub who's got a Ferrari, and he takes his Ferrari to Asda's or Sainsbury's or Tesco's or Waitrose or Marks and Spencer's or Aldi's or Lidl's or wherever. I know there's going to be somebody in the comment section who says that, but I'm just generalising, and most people who own a Ferrari don't take it to Asda, they just use it now and again. So there isn't going to be that much pollution from a Ferrari. So I can understand them saying that they're not included in the ZEV mandate because there's not that many sold and they don't use them that often. Now, was there anything else? It was quite a few things he said that I didn't agree with. And it's all right to disagree with Rory. It's fine to disagree with him. There's a few other things he said, but I can't remember everything he said. But I was actually watching it with my brother, and we both pulled a couple of funny faces as we was watching it, and we had a bit of a discussion, and we thought he was stretching the truth, to a point where he was going to snap. That's what I thought, basically. He was stretching it a bit. Now, Autocar, his main thing was he was saying that a lot of people in the comment section on Autocar have a go at him because he's not testing as many petrol cars. And I think this was just it was like an apology to the viewers that there isn't that many petrol cars to test, and there's more new electric cars coming out that he can test. And he's sort of apologising for testing electric cars, which is a bit... And he'll say he wasn't apologising, but that's what it seemed like to me. That's my opinion. Now, it was an interesting video. I'm not saying don't watch it. It was interesting, but it was a few things where... And if you have watched it, put down in the comment section what you think of the video. Is some points you want to point out in the comment section down below? Now, there was one more thing I wanted to look at by here before I go. And that was, let me just get on the right thing because I pressed the wrong thing, and that was this article here. Come on. Right, it's coming on now. This article here, because somebody did make a comment. Well, a few people have made comments about electric cars in the winter, and somebody said the electric car was using so much a day, and I was like, well, no, that's not true. And a lot of other people said, no, that's not true. So this person here has got he's got let me get comfortable because my back's hurting. He's got a Kia EV6, and he said, I left my EV unplugged in the cold for weeks, and here's how much range I lost. Now, this is going to be different from car to car, but we can just get a general idea of what's happening. And I think it was nearly a month that he left his car in cold temperatures, okay? And I'll be honest, I don't see much drop in my car overnight. Well, if anything, when it's left out overnight and I don't charge it. So he says he's from, looks like he's upstate New York, where it gets quite cold sometimes. They have quite a lot of snow. And he said that I think he charged his car, because I remember reading this, he charged his car to 80%, I think it was. Let me look a bit further down by here. And he said he was gone from December the 15th to January the 10th. He charged the EV6 to 80%, as we do most days, unless we have a long drive ahead. And then we leave it unplugged in our cold, detached garage, while temperatures were in the 30s. And when I say 30s, I mean 30 degrees Fahrenheit, because it's America. So he said by here, there's a common fear among those who aren't familiar with EVs that they'll have to leave their car parked for several days on a week trip and then come back to the airport and find the battery completely dead. Now, there is more chance of you coming back and finding your 12-volt battery completely dead than the main battery if you charge it to 80%. But if you charge it to 80%, now, I'll give you an example. My Hyundai EV Kona, when the traction battery goes down below a certain percentage, it stops charging the 12-volt battery all the time. And when the car turned up to me from Copart and it was on 15%, it wasn't recharging the battery, and the 12-volt battery did go flat. It had been flat for quite some time. So I bought a new battery, and I've always kept it above 30%, but I can go down below 30%, but I always keep it above there. If I went on a long trip, I go well below 30%. And the battery has always been absolutely fine, the 12-volt battery. And I did read it somewhere, and it says if it goes under, I'm not sure if it's 30% or lower, somebody can correct me in the comment section, but then it stops charging the 12-volt battery all the time. Because it's got a little light on the front of the bumper, and you can see when it's charging the 12-volt battery. Anyway, so I'm waffling on now, aren't I? So he said when he left the car there, the Kia was charged to 80%, and it read 183 miles of range. The car sat there for 28 days, completely unplugged from his home charger, level 2 charger, and it says he never checked the Kia smartphone app, which briefly powers on and charges up the 12-volt battery, which was what I was just saying. And he said when he returned after 28 days, the EV had 180 miles of range and 78% charge left, which is rather spiffy. That's nice, isn't it? That's very, very nice. He said when he went back to check a little bit later on, though, he said it read 183 miles, but it was still 78% charge. So it'd gone down 2% in 28 days in cold weather. Now, he did go on to say that Kia does say that if you're going to leave your car unplugged and unattended, if you're going to leave your car unattended and left for a long time, it does suggest that you do leave it plugged in. What was the amount of time here? It says extended periods, it does. So if we were gone for something like 3 months, he probably would have left it plugged in, and he could have topped it up if it went below a certain thing. So like I said, somebody in the comment section said your battery's just going to be gone when you wake up in the morning. That's not the case. It's not the case. So I just thought I'd add that. And if you have seen the Rory video, and you think, in the comment section, tell me if you think everything he said was sensible. Am I being a little bit too far pro EV? Or did you think, hang about, Hang about, mate. You're stretching it a bit per there. Put it down in the comment section. Anyway, that's just my thoughts for the day. If you did like this video, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ahoy!